Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Harakah Kadash, the one of the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and Shalom to all the brothers doing the work, necessary truth, pushing its word to the four corners. So they're doing, Netflix are bringing out a documentary on Alexander the Greek, Alexander the Greek. And obviously this guy is like one of the linchpins, the cornerstones, the bedrock of Esau's pride, Esau's kingdom, his rulership, and etc. He's one of the men that they give, so-called honor to. They uphold in a certain regard, and they kind of use him and the Greeks, and they have sayings like, oh, civilization started with the Greeks, whatnot, and essentially that they push the kind of view like from them man is when like civil society or whatever it is kind of began. But these are things that stories told by Esau, and now it's like it's funny in this new movie, because I remember those the movie in I believe 2004 on Alexander. I ain't watched that one in over that, like in forever times, so I can't even recall what what it was about. But obviously it went through his life. There's various documentaries and whatnot that you can kind of find going into these guys. So but apparently now it's being highlighted, that he was a homosexual, which isn't it shouldn't be a mystery, it shouldn't be news, because you're dealing with the ancient Greeks, and then these guys extended into the Romans as well, culturally. Because why? Because you're dealing with Esau, and then Esau again. These guys are going under all various different names, but then you're just dealing with Esau, man, because they took over. So I read this. It's on what you call the Metro. It says people really think Netflix turned Alexander the Greek gay, and it says Netflix viewers have fired back after the streaming service was accused of turning Alexander the Great gay. This week, the 6-part docu-series Alexander the Making of a God was released, and that title was wild as well, but it shows what the purpose, what the role of it going out is. They're putting him on a godlike level, like, yeah, like this guy was he's going out here. It was conquering the whole earth, essentially. Is the way it's being looked at, and that's been really how Esau's kind of upheld this guy's image. But now, obviously, him being highlighted as a homosexual, which shouldn't even be news, if you know history. But then apparently for the modern, this is why it's like I don't remember in the film if it clarified whether it was a homosexual or not. I felt like it did, but then it might have just been that I already knew it. So it was kind of they might have not explicitly been anything there, but it's meant to have kicked up a fuss. So this is what was released. It explores the extraordinary path of the young exiled man determined to find his place in the world following his father's assassination, quickly uniting his country in a campaign for dominance. The series also charts out Alexander's ambition led to his claim of largest Western empire in history, from Greece to part of India in just under 6 years. By the age of 30, he had created one of the largest empires in history, stretching from Greece to northwestern India, and is widely considered to be one of history's greatest and most successful military commanders. And then we got criminality going down. So that's just what. However, one detail in the series seemed to have incensed some viewers. It says what posting a clip from the first episode, which shows a historical figure kissing another man. X account and Wokeness said Netflix made a new documentary about Alexander the Great. Within the first 8 minutes, they turned him gay. However, many made sure to make it clear Alexander, who lived from 356 BC to 323 BC, is widely suspected to have been gay. To be fair, in all likelihood, it was due to the culture. Let me just skip down because it's just fucking Twitter comments. Okay, so because this is, the key thing. It says all the way back in the 1st century, historian Quintus Curtius Rufus claimed Alexander scorned sensual pleasures of women. He also wrote he scorned sensual pleasures to such an extent that his mother was anxious lest he be unable to beget offspring. Yeah, so this guy was so not even looking to, feeling to look upon a woman. They didn't want to go there and just do the deed, to continue the bloodline. This guy was just thinking about going back to, other pursuits, let's say. It says Alexander's mother had even hired a famous Thessalian courtesan named Calizena to sleep with her son, but with no success. So yeah. This guy is really not looking. He's really just like, yo, I ain't even trying to deal with that. Cause I don't know. It's if not otherwise, man would have had no choice but to do the business. But then yeah, this is as far as hey, that's the reality of who they're dealing with. I'm gonna go into scripture as well. But the reason, you got people on Twitter and whatnot kicking a fuss, having a back and forth is why. Is because these things now, it's tarnishing that image. Because why? He's this geezer, Alexander has been exalted to such a degree within the society. That for them to look back and be like, oh, is that how he's moving? It's gonna throw people all kinds off. Because they're thinking like, no, this guy was blah, blah, blah. But then, that's the thing. It's that smoke screen, which, Esau's done a spectacular job building up over time. And he's got people feeding into, smoke screens illusions. So I'll read this. What does it say? First Maccabees 1:1. It says, and it happened after that Alexander, son of Philip the Macedonian, who came out of the land of Chetim, had smitten Darius, king of the Persians and Medes. Then he reigned in his stead the first over Greece, and made many wars and won many strongholds, and slew the kings of the earth. And they went through to the end of the earth and took spoils of many nations, insomuch that the earth was quiet before him, whereupon he was exalted and his heart was lifted up. And he gathered a mighty strong host and ruled over countries and nations, and kings who became tributaries unto him. And after these things he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honourable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So yeah, this is, essentially just breaking down that history, man. Rather than going through a documentary with the scripture, you just get that concise details that you need. Because it's, he went out, he conquered, and then he fell sick and he divided his kingdom. But then this is the key part. So it says, and after these things, he fell sick and perceived that he should die. Wherefore he called his servants, such as were honourable, and had been brought up with him from his youth, and parted his kingdom among them while he was yet alive. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died. And so his servants bare rule everyone in his place, and his servants bare everyone in his place. Oh, so and after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth. So yeah, what was established with, with the Greeks, with their society, with their civilization, the they rolled through to set up. It was what? Evils being multiplied, man. Hmm. But yeah, that's the key thing, man. Evils multiplied in the earth. That's what this guy's put on the scene to do, man. To establish it, and then what? Have uh, you know, people come in his stead, and then push that vibration out, man. And that's what these guys are all about. Because dealing with what he came in to do. Men came to he established, and then what? Set them up so they could spread all kinds of wickedness about, man. Which is why it's like his whole lifestyle, the fact that he had no desire, to take sensual pleasures of women. So obviously, and within that time, we know exactly what was going down. So if if it's like this guy's getting prestige, courtesans dropped in his lap, and nothing's happening, then you know exactly what's up. But then that's a bit too much for for most people, man. But hey, we know what we're dealing with. Habakkuk 2:4 it says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." And yeah, that's the key thing. That's why this guy set up a system, a kingdom, and then what goes down? Confusion, destruction, man. These are the things that are at the core. Hmm. Uh, Let me read it again. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not right in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So yeah, that's that hunger, man. It can't be satisfied, regardless of what, camera, zoom. Oh, well, regardless of you know, how you present it. These are, that's really what's going down, man. He might say, he's doing some nature preserve, or he's he's storing history, or he's historically interested in XYZ. Fucking hell. But then, what it comes down to is establishing his kingdom, his rulership, his system, his image, man, and everyone else is feeding into it. Which is why it's such a mystery, because Esau's taken on certain aspects of how these top members of Esau meant to be rolling around looking, but what's the reality? It says what shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long, and to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And yeah, it's a thing of how long, man. As far as everything being in disrepair, eventually it's just gonna be done. Time's gonna be up. All these nations are gonna have a bone to pick, man. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto him? And yeah, you're gonna be that plunder. So what does it say? Ezekiel 28:2, it says, What son of man, say unto the prince of Tyrus, thus saith the most high power, because thine heart is lifted up, and thou hast said, I am a god, I sit in the seat of God, in the midst of the seas, yet thou art a man, and not God, though thou set thine heart as the heart of God. So yeah, he's basically put into his mind, he's that special, man. And these, all these shows, especially essentially the whole institute of Hollywood exists to push and further and disseminate that image, man, that mindset, which gets people invested. Because what they're out here thinking about, this is great history, but then they don't know that they're dealing with someone else's house. They might not even relate to them in the slightest. But that's what like ASOS got everyone, man. Everyone thinks they're just one homogenous blob. But then as soon as any kind of interaction happens, those things it's it gets highlighted. So it say, Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret they can hide from thee. With thy wisdom and with thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. By thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thine heart is lifted up because of thy riches. Therefore thus saith the Most High power, because thou hast set thine heart as the heart of the Most High. Behold, therefore I'll bring strangers upon thee, the terrible of the nations, and they shall draw their swords against the beauty of thy wisdom, and they shall defile thy brightness. So yeah, they're not going to be engaging with all that. They're just going to be dealing with it in the raw reality. And that's something everyone else is going to have to deal with. Because now what? It's coming out. And there's various aspects of things that have gone on in history that people don't keep at the forefront till it gets kind of, shoved in front of them. What does it say? Job 9:24. It says, What the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? And yeah, that's a power Esau's been given to cover the face of the judges. He's able to go out and what do you call it? He's able to go out and essentially push, all forms of madness. Because why? At the base level, they got everyone just ready, to accept it, especially from a young age. And then as you get older, that training just, they remain that way. And then especially with Esau slotting himself as, that key character within history, it's just like, bro, nah, this guy he had his own shit. But he covered, man. He wanted everything. And then even to be, those historical figures, man. Hmm. What does it say? Isaiah 47:1. It says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. But thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." Yeah. All, all that favor that used to be held, directed towards America, that's been, eviscerated. Because why? The real nature of who you're dealing with come out. Take the millstones and grind mill, uncover thy locks, make bare the leg, uncover the fire, pass over the rivers, and yeah, uncover the fire. But yeah, all these truths and realities are now flooding out to an extent where it can't even be engaged with. It's overwhelming, which is why they're playing defense, just shoving this out. Nah. So it says, "Thy nakedness shall be uncovered, yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man." And yeah, the thing is in the midst of hair, that's become a truly legendary means of deceit. But, yeah. Uh, in fact, okay, yeah. I'll finish on this. It says that because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcraft, that selleth nations for her whoredoms, and families for her witchcraft, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord Jehovah of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face, and I will show the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame. Yeah. And I will cast abominable filth upon thee, and make thee vile, and will set thee as a gazing stock. So yeah, these witchcrafts is a lot of these TV shows, man. These different forms of media Esau puts out. They do a spectacular job of getting people to fall in line in accord with what he's pushing out there. But then what? Those same means of deceiving, of getting people into this thing. Yeah, all these nations are gonna have a bone to pick, man. It says, "And it shall come to pass that all that look upon thee shall flee from thee, and say, Nineveh is laid waste. Who will bemoan her? When shall I seek comforters for thee?" Yeah, that new Nineveh, man. They're gonna be like, "Yo, no, it's done. It's toast. Give it up." Hmm. Hmm. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom. Shalom.